Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's reading is a pick a card reading that is the lesson behind my current emotional triggers. So whatever in life is giving you emotional triggers, we're going to dive into what the meaning behind that is, what the lesson behind that is. Because everything we go through in life has lessons to it. And so, especially something that has emotional triggers associated with it, there's usually a pretty big lesson involved within that. So, we're going to tap into your higher self, your spirit guides, to get some information about what lesson is behind your current emotional triggers. Feel free to pause the video and meditate, or just find what pile resonates most with you. This is pile 1, 2, and 3. And without further ado, we'll get started. Hi, Group 1. If you chose this pile, I believe this is Peach Selenite. Let's get started. Let's learn all about what lesson is behind your current emotional triggers. What lesson is behind your current emotional triggers? All right. All right, we've got the crumbling. What are you clinging to? So, for you, the lesson is going to be letting go. Letting go, learning to let go, learning to let go of relationships that don't serve you, narratives that you have about your life that don't serve you, habits in your life that are not serving you, tendencies, thought patterns, belief systems. What belief systems are you clinging to that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you limited? So, the lesson behind your current emotional triggers is letting go, learning to let go, learning to let something crumble that does not serve you. And this can be really difficult because this could mean walking away from certain people in our life. This could mean walking away from a job that we have that we feel really unfulfilled in or unhappy with. This could be belief systems about yourself that are keeping you stuck. A good example here is something like, okay, maybe feelings of unworthiness. Okay, belief systems of unworthiness. And having that emotional trigger come up where something happens and you experience this, like, oh my gosh, I am just not worth being happy. I am not worth finding the love of my life. I'm not worth having a job that I actually enjoy doing. If you're clinging on to that emotional trigger of like feelings of unworthiness, it's going to keep you stuck in a perpetual state of experiences coming to you that confirm your belief of unworthiness. So the lesson is it's time to let that go. It's time to let go what you're clinging to that is not serving you, that is not bringing you in alignment with your highest timeline and with your higher self. We've got deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So find some time to retreat, to ask yourself this question: what am I clinging on to? Are the things that I'm clinging on to actually benefiting my life? Are they improving my life? Are they bringing about happiness? Because if any of those answers are no, the lesson is it is time for you to let that go. That is the lesson. And you might need some time to rest. You might need some time to recover after you have let these things go. Because again, this is going to be a huge shift in your self identity. And so often when we do work that's deep, it takes time to recover from, because it's change can be really liberating. Oh, I've got some that are, oh, I'm sorry, guys. My daughter likes to come in and play with the cards. And so I think she got her little grubby hands on this deck and didn't put it all back. Okay, that's okay. We're going to roll with it. Okay. What was I saying? So anytime we're making significant changes in our life that really um, shift, like things that are part of our foundation of our identity, it really takes some time to rest and retreat, because this is soul work. This is deep work. This is like integrating new ways of being, new ways of thinking, new ways of habits into your day-to-day life. And it can be quite a profound change that doesn't come easy. And so you might find yourself needing some retreat and rest to not only ponder, this notion of what am I clinging to, but then also to integrate the lesson within that of like, okay, what do I really need to let go of now and come to terms with that? Okay, yeah, we've got Six of Cups reversed. This card is like perfectly aligned with this one, because this is being stuck in your past. This is like, I mean, look on the card here. It literally says inability to let go. Okay, so your lesson is very clear here, group one. Learning to let go. Okay. This could also be like forgiving something that's happened in your past. Maybe, something within your family that has been really burdensome for you and has significantly affected you. Is there forgiveness that could be brought into the situation that could help you let go and move on from the past, where you can rest, recover from whatever this situation is? This could be a relationship, like a romantic relationship, where maybe you're still really hung up on someone that you used to see and you haven't been able to really let that go. You've been clinging on to the idea of this person being who you wanted them to be, of maybe the relationship coming back into play, whatever it is. There's definitely something from your past that is factoring into why these cards have come up. Something that you really need to focus on letting go of, okay? All right, we've got these three wanted to come out. All right. We've got the Eight of Swords. Okay, this is all self-imposed. We are victims to our own thoughts. Swords and tarot are thoughts, our mental activity, our communication. Eight of Swords is when look at her, she's bound. She's bound, and like all these swords surround her. She is bound by her own limiting thoughts. Okay, she feels like a victim. She feels powerless. She's not, though, recognizing that this is self-imposed. If she wanted to, she could clearly take this blindfold off. It's not that tightly wound around her. The swords are not that deep in the ground around her, meaning that change is absolutely possible, okay? So the lesson behind your current emotional triggers is you are keeping yourself stuck in the past. You're clinging to something that is keeping you stuck. The lesson is this is self-imposed, and you have every opportunity and all of the tools to be able to unbind yourself from this situation. We've also got Four of Swords. Yeah, Spirit is saying that you can come back from this situation. This is absolutely something that you can bounce back from. And I can tell that you're exhausted from these emotional triggers. You're exhausted from the things that you are clinging onto. This has very much weighed you down. This has held you back. And this has kept you in some limiting self beliefs here. But once you unstuck yourself, once you introspect on what it is that you are clinging to, you 100% can unbind yourself from where you are right now. Okay. We've also got the Page of Swords reversed. So this is when we're not really using our thoughts to make progress. Okay, this is not having clear thoughts on what it is that you want, taking action to get there. Page of Swords reversed is very much like, again, limiting thoughts, limiting self-talk, limiting narratives about, what has happened to us, what it means, the narrative we have about ourselves. And so this can also be like a skepticism. Okay. So, like, some of you might feel skeptical right now that you're not going to be able to accomplish what it is that I'm saying. Maybe what it is that you're clinging to has affected you so profoundly that you're not able to see it right now. You're not able to see the unbinding. You're not able to see that it is yourself keeping you stuck. I think some of you might really struggle with getting out of this victim mentality. But let's see what else we get for you. I think one of the hardest things about this particular message, honestly, is the switch of, okay, I am not going to be the victim anymore. It's like a decision. Once that decision is truthfully made, like, you really have to kind of own it, like what's the word? Authentic. Once that decision is authentically made, everything changes. But I think truly reaching that point where you have gotten to the point of, I don't want to be a victim anymore. I'm more than this. That is the switch where the rest of this message will start to feel more attainable. And I think some of you are going to have a hard time maybe getting to that point just because of the page reversed here, or the Page of Swords reversed. I'm sorry. Ooh, that card flew out. It can kind of be like a cynical type of energy. And so I think some of you might be hearing this message, and deep down, there's a cynicism about actually being able to step into your power and walk away from this victim mentality. All right, we've got pure joy, exhilaration, laughter, and exuberance. Okay, so Spirit is saying find moments to experience pure joy. Like, seek out the things that make you happy. Put your focus on things that give you a feeling of exhilaration and give you this laughter. Okay, that can help you heal. That can also help you step back into the energy of, does you know you deserve happiness, you know you deserve joy, you know you deserve laughter, right? Let's see what else we get for you, my group ones. All right, my group ones. Anything else from this deck, Spirit? Any other cards from this deck for my group ones? The lesson behind my current emotional triggers. All right. We've got center point, grounded, centered, sovereign. So your center point might need to be redefined, because the clinging on to that you've been doing has kept you ungrounded and has certainly taken you out of your sovereignty. So another lesson behind your current emotional triggers is, how do you get grounded? When you find yourself having these, like cynical and victim type mentality thoughts of, whatever has happened to you has happened to you, and the pain that you've experienced is someone else's fault, and you'll never be the same again, thoughts like that. How do you get recentered? How do you get regrounded when you find yourself leaning towards that type of thought process? So, another lesson is really taking the time to understand what grounds you. Now, this can look different for everyone. So, if you need ideas for grounding, the first most obvious literal example of that would be, go outside, reconnect with nature, put your feet on the soil, on the grass, and offer up this energy of, victim mentality, hanging on to stuff that doesn't serve us, offering up that energy into Mother Earth, like literally setting the intention that those energies are going to go through the soles of your feet into the earth and let the earth take it. Okay. Another thing could be journaling, really map out your thoughts, because keeping our thoughts stuck in our head can get confusing. It can get a bit of like an echo chamber up there. And so getting it out physically, literally onto paper, can just be a powerful exercise of kind of like disposing it, right? Like physically getting it out of your mind. That can be incredibly grounding. Not only is that grounding, but that also untangles a lot of the messy thoughts that we have. It kind of clears things out and makes our thoughts more clear. Um, Meditation, of course, is fantastic for grounding, because it helps train your brain to get out of these loops of victim mentality thoughts and replaying situations that have happened over and over. It kind of trains your brain to get really present into the body and into your energy body and less of your like physical body. Okay. Another thing that can be really grounding is honestly just seeking out stuff that makes us happy, joy. Because when we're in dense periods of our life like this where it's really dense energy, really heavy, we feel trapped, we feel weighed down, we feel burdened, we feel tired, we feel resentful. Um, it's really good to counterbalance those energies. So, seeking out the things that give us laughter and make us feel exuberant. All of these can be really grounding because grounding is a balanced ecosystem. Okay. All right, let's see what other messages we get for you with my group ones. The lesson behind your current emotional triggers. All right, we've got the Bobcat Spirit. Okay, life is a mystery. Right off the bat, this card is telling me that closure is a piece of the puzzle that I think you're seeking that you might not get. And this is a hard lesson that I had to learn as well. Um, Closure feels really nice. It's like packaging up a situation and wrapping it and putting a bow on it and just kind of like completing it, right? And so let's use a breakup as an example. You break up with someone. Um, of course, you're heartbroken, you're sad, all of the things, right? And especially if you're someone who didn't initiate the breakup, breakups can be incredibly painful. And oftentimes we seek out closure with things that are painful because it kind of like puts a period on the end of the sentence. It just kind of like finalizes it, completes it. And that gives us a sense of, okay, I've got what I needed. I've gotten closure. Now I can move on. Spirit wants you to know that you are not going to get closure with every situation that you have. You might not get closure at all, or you might not get closure in the way that you want to have it. And as unfortunate as that may sound, maybe part of your life's lesson is the ability to let go without having the closure. You do not control what other people do or say. You cannot control the way that people feel. You cannot control the way that events take place. You can only control yourself. And so you really are at the mercy of so many factors around you. And I think a really important skill set as we age is learning to be okay without closure. And you might get it sometimes. And if you do, be grateful. Closure is a beautiful thing. And it would be nice if we had closure with every situation, but life doesn't work that way. And so the lesson behind your current emotional triggers can also have to do with learning to be okay without closure. Sometimes things are mysterious. Sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes you are blindsided by a situation. Um, and this really is just part of the human journey. All right, let's see what else we get for you. Any final messages on the lesson behind your current emotional triggers? Yeah, so learning to be okay with the mystery of your experiences. You know, could just be certain things in your life where you are not going to get the closure. You're not going to have the understanding the way that you want it. And that's okay. Spirit is saying that's okay. All right, we've got cleanse. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. Oh, yeah, I think you definitely need a cleansing, a purging of this victim mentality, clinging on to your past, clinging on to situations, wanting to have this closure, wanting to have full understanding. Cleanse yourself of that. Okay? Get out in nature, get yourself grounded. Find and seek joy. Let go of needing closure. Learn to be okay with the mystery that you experience in your life, even if it's painful. The lesson could be learning to let go and be okay with it, even if it is painful. And then you've got teach, inspire others, and let nature be your greatest teacher. Okay? So there could be someone in your life that could benefit from what you are experiencing right now, whether that's having conversations, deep conversations with someone that you're close with, whether that's writing, a book about what it is that you're experiencing, maybe having a podcast about it, maybe starting a support group for your struggles and people that are experiencing something similar. This can take a million different paths. Um, but within the situation that you find yourself in that is emotionally triggering you, there is not only a lesson for you to learn, Spirit is saying there is something for you to teach others. So this could be one of your greatest lessons of all time that you're meant to pass the knowledge on. And so I think that's a really encouraging thought. You're being nudged by Spirit to teach and inspire others with the knowledge that you've gained from this experience. I think this is a beautiful reading, and I do hope that whatever it is that you're going through can be resolved within your heart soon. And you can take the lessons that Spirit wanted to share with you today and really incorporate that into your being moving forward. So that's all I have. And I thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Bye bye. All right. Hi, group 2. If you chose this pile, this is your reading all about the lesson behind your current emotional triggers. Ooh, let's get that out there. Hi, group 2. If you chose this pile, this is your reading that is the lesson behind your current emotional triggers. So let's see what Spirit has in store for you. What is the message here for my group 2s? The lesson behind your current emotional triggers. Let's see what we get for you, my group 2s. Lesson behind your current emotional triggers. That one must come out. Okay. Pretty clear message here. Facing your fear, courage, inner strength. So what are you going through right now that has left you lacking courage and having fear about the unknowns? I'll be curious, like if you're going through something new, if you're coming to an ending of something. But Spirit is saying the lesson here is you need to face your fear. Facing our fears are really the only way we can overcome them. And so there's something in your life that is holding you back from becoming like the highest version of yourself. And Spirit is saying it is time to face that fear. Protection, shield, preserve, conserve. You are protected. Okay, Spirit is saying you are protected. Okay. You are safe to pursue what it is that you want to pursue. Don't have fear. You're protected, not only in the spirit world, but in the physical world, okay? Like more protected than you realize is what I just heard. Oh, we've got two more. Love it. Okay. Let's start with this one. I mean, look at that. Limitless access to infinite potential. Wow. Okay, so you guys definitely have a lot of potential here. And Spirit is saying you are holding yourself back. Okay. You are totally holding yourself back. And we do this a lot because we're human. Um, the human brain is conditioned to protect ourselves and keep us alive. So, don't feel bad that you're getting called out on it, I guess. You're human. But that doesn't mean that you can't overcome these types of challenges. You are absolutely limitless. You have access to infinite potential here. You are protected. Okay. So you need to go for what it is you want and what you feel drawn to. And then we've got nourish, feed your body, mind, and spirit. Yeah. So take care of yourself, protect yourself by like taking care of yourself, be smart, make wise choices, make health a priority. But you are not only with Nourish, I'm also hearing like, oh, how do I say this? Like the seeds of what you want are not only like already planted within you, but they are destined to bear fruit. For some reason, that message really came through when I looked at this image. Okay, like the seeds of what you want are going to bear fruit. You're going to have success. And so, what emotional trigger are you experiencing that's leading to this idea of fear and like not having the courage to overcome it? The Spirit is saying, like, you absolutely have the resources to overcome it. All right, we've also got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So this is just an imbalance of like material energy. So this can be like overspending, this can be being superficial, this can be having too much emphasis on money, like just being materialistic. This can also be like working too hard, okay? Like just burning the candle at both ends where you're working so hard that your efforts almost become um, like less effective just because you're so overworked, where you might need to take a break from something and then come back to it refreshed. But Spirit, I think, is also telling me that like there could be a little bit too much emphasis here on finances, something about your material world, whether that's your bank account or your possessions, your home, your car, your clothes. Okay, like maybe there's too much emphasis on that, or maybe we're like living beyond our means in regards to these things. Okay, let's see what else we get for you. My group twos. Lesson behind your current emotional triggers. Group twos. That one wants to come out. All right, we've got the Chariot. Action, success, moving forward. Okay, like working towards a goal. Spirit is saying you have a choice. You have a choice in which direction you go. Your choice could be facing your fear and recognizing you have like limitless potential. Your choice could also be to stay stuck in fear You know, at the end of the day, free will is yours. So you get to make your reality what you want. Um, so Spirit is saying first, you have a choice, okay? And there's willpower within this card. That's a huge piece of the energy of this card, is like having determination and like creating a plan. And like the Chariot is about movement, progress, like forward momentum. So I think making a choice is one of the biggest lessons, like choosing who you want to be, the direction you want to go, choosing to face your fear. Are you also fearful of like money loss? Is that a fear that some of you are having? Like if you make a certain decision, there's fear that you'll lose your something material in your life. Spirit is saying you're protected and you have limitless, infinite potential. So don't let the fear be the deciding factor on which direction you go. Okay. Yeah, we've got Queen of Cups. Okay, so like once you choose a direction of like where you want to go, and especially if it's in alignment with the message of facing your fear and recognizing your potential, you are going to like be in your flow state, and like your cup is going to be so overflowed that the reality that you experience is going to look so different from where you are right now. The feelings that you have are going to look so different than where you are right now. Queen of Cups energy is like, she is like intuitive. She has filled her own cup. So, like, she puts herself first so that she first and foremost feels good. And she's in a state where she can give that to others because her cup is so overflowed. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. This is when like life is just flowing, it's feeling good, we're feeling fulfilled, we're happy with the choices we're making. And intuition is flowing because we're really like resonant with our soul. We're in alignment with it. And so your intuition just starts to kind of take off a little bit. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so this is like when you're not diligently working towards something. There's either like a lack of motivation, there's a lack of focus, um, or what you're doing, you're not really pouring yourself into it. You're kind of like going through the motions, or maybe like just, you know, coming from a place of like having to do it and not wanting to do it. And so the work just reflects that, right? It's like a half ass kind of job. And so Spirit wants to help you recognize like, where do you feel passion? Where's your passion lie in life? Because that's going to give you like this Queen of Cups energy and help you make the decisions that you need to make to like get over these emotional triggers that you're having. The lesson behind these emotional triggers are, you are not facing your fears. You are not recognizing your potential. You're also kind of stuck. It's like a self-imposed stuckness where you're not fully committing to something, like a fear of commitment. Once that fear goes away and you start operating from a place of knowing your infinite potential and knowing you are protected, you're going to hit this Queen of Cups energy where like life is just going to flow so much more, and the fulfillment is going to be so much higher. Your happiness will be so much higher. All right, let's see what else we get for you. My group twos. Lesson behind your current emotional triggers. Oh, yeah. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Okay, so there is a pattern here that your soul has made. And this could be part of, something you've experienced in a past life. This could be part of a soul contract that you had coming in. Like, this is the lesson your soul needed to learn in this lifetime. Okay. But the lesson behind this current emotional trigger that you're having is this is like soul level stuff. This isn't just something that has haphazardly happening to you and there's no controlling it and you're just a victim of circumstance and there's no meaning behind it. No, no. This is part of your soul's path, learning this lesson. Okay. And once you do, you will be unbound. You will be like truly free. Yeah, like see the ropes that are tied around them. Like you're gonna untie these ropes and like elevate. It'll be like a up leveling for you. Oh my gosh, yeah. Then you've got awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Spirit is really saying to you that once you walk away from this state of living in fear, not choosing, not recognizing your power, not seeing your potential, not believing in yourself, not having a plan. Like once you like sort all of this out, oh my gosh, you are going to elevate into like a higher version of yourself that is so much more aligned with who you actually are. And it's going to feel really, really good. And it's going to require like a new way of being and some integration. Okay. Like you will get these energetic upgrades once you hit a certain level of vibration. So you first need to like raise your vibration away from these like limiting types of energies. And once you do, like all these energetic upgrades are going to come into your life and you're just going to elevate and feel, I think, like a completely different person, actually. And I think like one day you're going to look back at this current state that you're in, like the one that's living in fear, and you're going to be like, I don't even recognize that person anymore. But you'll be so grateful that you had that stage at one point because it took you experiencing that to recognize where the growth needed to happen. But yeah, you're going to be like a whole new person once these lessons are fully like integrated into your life and into your being. All right, we've got two here. Okay, funny. This one came up for my group one as well. Life is a mystery. So different context than what the group one's reading was. Right off the bat, what I'm hearing is have the confidence to go in the direction you want, like have the courage to go in the direction you want, face your fears, even without knowing what the end result is going to look like. Okay, like don't think that you have to have everything again because there is a lot of like energy here about like indecisiveness, fear, and just like not being sure and feeling like, oh well, I can't really decide or make my first move until I really know what it looks like, or maybe like I know what the outcome is supposed to be and that kind of thing. The lesson here is Spirit is saying like your lesson is having the courage and the willpower to move forward despite that answer, despite that certainty. Okay. Like having the ability to just move forward and go after what you want, even with the mystery. So a little bit of a different message than it was for group one, but still very, very applicable for you guys. Perfect card to come out. And then we've got Hummingbird Spirit, be here now. So presence, being present in the here and now. Gosh, I'm making these all wonky, aren't I? Okay. Being present in the here and now. Always a really good reminder for anyone in any stage of life. Being present is, I think, just such a powerful practice because, all we have is now, this moment. I think it can also help get you out of this state of fear, because fear is usually the anticipation of what is going to happen. And so if you're living in a state of fear, it's usually because you're projecting into the future with like what if scenarios in your brain. And the human brain is really, really good at protecting ourselves from danger. So being present in the now, focusing on the now, making that a practice for you can help get you out of that like projecting into worst case scenario type of thought patterns. Okay. It can also help you like become more decisive. You do have the Chariot, which is, choosing a direction, moving forward, actually like taking steps towards your goal. And being present can help with that, because it's kind of like, instead of projecting out like, oh my gosh, well, for me to get from point A to B, like a million things have to happen. Okay, just start with step one. Okay. You're going to have to do step one anyway. Just start there. Then when you accomplish step one, okay, what's the next step? And you just kind of continue, and you develop this habit of being okay with taking things a step at a time, being present, being here in the now. You've got hope. An idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. I mean, it reminds me of this card, like the fruit of your like intentions are there. They exist on a timeline somewhere. They already are happening. You just need to tune into that. You just need to tune into the energy of someone who very much has accomplished that. So have hope. Don't have fear, have hope. All right, let's see what other messages we get. My group twos, the lesson behind your current emotional triggers. Oh, that's too many. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And then we've got renew. Nature continuously renews itself year after year. Okay, so what I want to say with this card is, even if like you cannot see yourself as being this energy, let's get her out. Queen of Cups, where you're just like in flow, life is good, your cup is filled, you're able to pour into others because you're so fulfilled with what you're doing with your time. Even if this seems so foreign to you and like you can't relate to it, you can't see it, this card is coming up to tell you you're being continuously reborn again every day. Every single day is an opportunity for you to rewrite who it is you want to be, how you want to spend your time that day. Okay? How you want to spend your time that day. I'm going to leave her out so you can see her. It's like a lasting impression. How you want to spend your time that day, the choices that you make, the habits that you create. Every day is an opportunity for you to start over. And start small, start with baby steps. Maybe, start with something simple like, today I'm going to drink more water. Or today I'm going to take the first step towards that goal that I really want, even though it scares the crap out of me. What would the first step be? And you know what? I'm not going to worry about the end result. I'm just going to do the first step. Like every day is that opportunity for you to do that. Nature renews itself year after year. Every year, the forest is a new forest. It's never exactly the same as the year before. I mean, that is the way nature works, right? Change is the only constant. It's okay to change. And then you've got origins, remember your roots. So, yeah, even though you're changing, you can still remember your roots and remember where you came from and remember this moment that you're in right now. This moment that you're in right now, where all of these emotional triggers are happening for you. What a beautiful opportunity for you, right? Like you're given the opportunity to recognize the lesson within that. And one day when you get to this Queen of Cups energy, you're going to come back and like look at the stage that you're in right now today as part of your roots and be, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to be happy and proud of where you've come and like the fact that you went through this chapter. So I love this reading. I feel like the overarching statement is like have faith in yourself, choose hope over fear. What would the you version who leads with hope for their decision making do? Not the version of you that leads with fear to make your decisions, but the one that leads with hope. That's the version of you that spirit is encouraging you to be. That's the lesson. Okay, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading. I wish you so much luck and really incorporating this lesson into your being. Um, and really, I should say, I wish you guys courage. So just remember, sometimes courage is simply a choice, like just choosing to have it, right? All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you, and I appreciate you watching so much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Hi, my group threes. If you chose this pile, this is your reading on the lesson behind your current emotional triggers. All right, so let's see what Spirit has to say about the lesson behind your current emotional triggers for my group threes. All right. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Okay, so the emotional triggers that you are experiencing right now, this is karmic. Okay. This is part of what your soul has decided to focus on as a lesson in this lifetime. Okay. As unfulfilling as that may sound, that is the reality. There's probably a relationship involved of some kind, whether this is like, family members, romantic, coworker, friend, whatever. There's some sort of relationship that is a part of your emotional triggers right now, and that relationship is karmic. Okay. I want to get the book on this one though. I want to see what the author had to say about it because I just want to get a little more information on this card. All right, let's see. Excuse me. It says the constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many star seeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. It's asking, how can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? Ooh, okay. Yeah, so there's some polarity in this situation that's causing you emotional triggers. And so spirit is challenging you to see things from a different perspective. Okay. Then we've got a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. You could probably be a star seed who struggles with the way that the world operates right now. And I understand that because I'm one myself. That could be part of your emotional triggers as well. Spirit is saying it is happening. Keep holding the vision for the new earth, okay? I relate to this card very much, just this anxious awaiting of, 5D earth and um, consciousness expansion, on the collective level. I understand um, that the waiting for that can be difficult and disappointing that we're not there yet, right? So maybe that's part of what you're experiencing as well. And then we've got trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Okay, so very clear messages here. Okay, you have an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. Okay, polarity. What is happening in your life with these emotional triggers? Um, what polarity can you find within that? Okay. And would you then be willing to flip to the other side of the coin and consider that perspective? Okay. I really feel with these two cards, there's like an aching for being where you are right now in this incarnate experience of human life in this timeline of 3D Earth. Um, like a feeling of just like homelessness, waiting for something, not quite fitting in. And I can really relate to these feelings. This is something that I very much struggle with as well. Um, and Spirit is telling you that trust the timing, like everything is happening the way that it should. And sometimes waiting for these things can be really challenging. I think, especially if you're a starseed and you're sensitive, um, this is a really difficult reality to be in. This is a hard space to be in if that's the case. Um, so you just have to trust the timing and keep the faith and hold the vision that it's happening. Okay. Let's see what else we get. Oh, that card, definitely. I am light, pure divine essence. Yeah, I definitely think that you guys are probably star seeds. Not that all of us are not pure light and divine essence, but you're just someone who's more connected with that knowing. I think you're someone who very much already kind of knows that to be true about yourself. So keep that. That could be like a comforting reminder for when you're feeling emotionally triggered, is like remembering like you are pure divine essence. Everything is happening just the way that it should and the time that it should. I'm going to continue to hold the vision for the new earth and the new reality that I want to desire. All right, we've got sacred feminine, creation, receptive, nurturing. I definitely think you guys are star seeds. I think that you guys probably really tap into your sacred feminine. But I'm also hearing that this could be the lesson too, is tapping more into your sacred feminine. Okay. Maybe some of you, because we do have polarity here, have been in your sacred masculine energy. And we need to have both. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or man, every human being has feminine energy, masculine energy. Um, it's necessary to be balanced, right? So you could be benefited from balancing out your feminine energy more. Okay, maybe you've been just a little bit perpetually stuck in like more of a masculine type of energy, which is, you know, the opposite of sacred feminine. And then we've got limitless access to infinite potential. Yeah, star seeds for sure, guys. And I think you know this. I think a lot of you are very sensitive. A lot of you probably do a lot of spiritual work already, which is no surprise if you're watching my channel. But um, the lesson is to um, tap into the other polar opposite of where you've been, okay, and have trust and faith that things are unfolding the way that they should, because they are. All right, let's see what else we get for my group threes. Oh wait, no, let me get some tarot cards. Yeah, my group threes. Lesson behind current emotional triggers. Woo! Oh, that was derpy. Okay. All right, we've got King of Swords. This is someone who is a dictator. This is someone who abuses their power, very controlling. Um, so, where are you being, where are your thoughts abandoning you? Is what I want to say. Like, I think this is also like part of that, like, too deep into the masculine energy, right? Like, if this were upright, I would say the energy was balanced, because kings, when they're upright, they have a very balanced energy in their suit. So when it's reversed, it's an imbalance of this energy. So are you trying to control too much about, situations in your life, whether that be relationships that you have, or like just the situations you find yourself in, not feeling in alignment, because you're longing for a reality that doesn't quite exist yet in this 3D reality, something like that. And so your thoughts are getting the better of you. They're imbalancing your mental space. They're imbalancing like the energy within your being. Okay. Swords are our thoughts, our communication. So where are your thoughts hindering you? All right, we've got the Knight of Swords. This is a really fast action oriented card. Like, this is the fastest knight in the deck. A lot of power, a lot of ambition is behind this card. Okay, like there's something fiercely that you guys are going after. Like, there's a fierce, ambitious desire for it. I wonder if patience and and being inflexible, like more patience could benefit you, and more flexibility, to see the other side, to balance out feminine and masculine. Because even though there's a woman in this card, like, to me, she has like a masculine energy about her, just because of like the motion of the card, her expression on her face. And then Three of Swords. This is when our thoughts and our mental patterns hurt our heart. This is like being in depression. This is about replaying things that we're unsatisfied about over and over in our head. It's when our mind creates turmoil in our heart, okay? Heartbreak, trauma. A lot of messages here about your thoughts are, I think the lesson behind your current emotional triggers are your thoughts are contributing to your emotional triggers. They're contributing to your pain. Maybe the expectations that you have aren't grounded. Maybe you're having a hard time being flexible with seeing a different perspective. Maybe you're being impatient and wanting to force a situation the way that you want it so badly, but the other cards aren't quite aligned with it quite yet, something like that. Yeah, I see your thoughts as kind of like creating the emotional turmoil that you're in. So the lesson is you can take your sovereignty back. You need to bring more balance into your life. And you can do that by having more of a receptive, feminine type of intention with situations. You can also do that, like the book said about this card, with understanding that polarity is there for a reason. It's there to serve us and to learn lessons. And so, what other perspective can you find within situations that are bringing you this emotional turmoil? Let's see what else we get from my group threes. We've got turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. So change like this, when it's at a fundamental, level of who we are, takes time. You don't just all of a sudden adapt all these new tendencies and thought patterns like out of nowhere and it just happens. It takes time to really integrate these into our being. But the choice to do it is the snap of a finger. The choice to do it is an immediate thing that can set you off into a new direction. And once you do, slow and steady wins the race as far as like really incorporating it into your being. And then we've got squirrel spirit, believe in yourself. So believe in yourself that what's keeping you stuck and feeling heartbroken right now, it's a choice really at the end of the day. And so you can choose to plant the seed of a new belief system. You can choose to plant the seed of um, a new way of operating, new way of thinking. And within that, something will grow, right? Even if it's slow and steady, something will grow from that. See if we have any other final messages here. Resilient, stay as strong as the evergreen trees. So even though what you're going through right now is, definitely like a struggle, and I can tell that there's some turmoil that you're in, Spirit is saying, stay resilient. This too shall pass. And you do have the power to see yourself in a new way and to see situations from a new perspective. Okay. You've got surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. Okay. So I kind of view this as like there's something awaiting within you. Like you're kind of like the stone, like just sitting on the ground, and You know, if you walk by it, like you might not think twice, but underneath of it is like this whole undisturbed garden. There's something that you're going to unearth within yourself that's going to surprise you. And right now, you're focused on the rock that's laying on top of it and not like recognizing the potential that lies underneath. But there is going to be something that comes out within you that surprises you, okay? And then joy, spread seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you will revel in the result. So, spreading joy is a good way for us to take the focus off of ourselves and what we're unhappy about. And giving joy to others is quite infectious. It makes us feel joy. It feels good to make someone happy. So, you could use a little bit more of that in your life right now. Maybe a little, I kind of do see this in the reading actually. I want to say less focused on yourself. I think you're too, because you are a star seed, I think you're someone who's very deep and who's sensitive, who feels things very deeply. And that's part of the pain that you're experiencing right now is when you feel, you feel. Um, Sometimes it can be helpful to take the focus off of us when we're in a difficult period and do something like just giving joy to someone else because it like it completely shifts the energy of our being. It like it's like shifting gears. It's like we'll be in like park, parked in with our negative feelings and emotions and like stuck there. It's kind of like putting the car in drive and like you're now like unstuck. You're moving. I think taking the focus off of yourself for a little bit and focusing on just spreading joy to people around you can help kind of like get you out of this Three of Swords type of energy where it's just heavy and emotional and depressing and sad. Um, so there's one lesson. And I think the other lesson for you is to really think about polarity and try to see things from the other perspective. Okay. Well, that's all I have for this reading, but I hope you guys found something in here that will be helpful for you moving forward. Um, and we'll give you some tools just to kind of shift out of this dense energy that you're feeling right now. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Bye.